titans, and all those ships at sea. A little smoother than last time. I think we've ironed out the kinks. It is, in fact, Happy Hour from the Tower, live on Twitch, and I am your host, T. Morris.
Well, I'm ready if you are.
I'm feeling pretty ready right now. I am. And sitting over to my left.
I'm Nick Kelly.
What does my guardian need?
What do you need, Nick? Talk to Spider. What do you need?
Coffee.
Just kidding. Just the coffee. That's all he needs, and he's happy. And sitting across from me,
I'm Brent Kelly.
Guardians aren't supposed to investigate their
I
past.
saw her first.
That's the rule.
I saw her first.
But I'm not good with rules.
We are off and running. Yeah, we have a fire team of 3 today, so perfectly good for a strike.
I think that might be the first time we've ever heard the theme in its entirety.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's something that we actually did for the Shared Desk over at theshareddesk.com. One of the things that we did was to segue and give people a chance to find us and give people a chance to come on out and join us. We basically would play the entirety of the Shared Desk theme, and we found out that's actually pretty good music.
I feel like we should be traveling the galaxy in Her Majesty's Secret Service. Like, there was definitely some bondage.
It does feel that way, doesn't it? It really does. So
James bondage, not the other kind.
Yeah, not that kind. So, guys, we are this time no interview. We are actually doing. We're actually talking about the game.
We'll interview each other.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because we've actually been.
T,
pretty-
what brought you to Destiny as a game?
What brought me to Destiny as a game? Ironically, it was my dad who always had a taste for the finer things in life, and he actually said to me, serious question, serious answer. He said, "Well, I got that PS4 for you for Christmas," and it's kind of timely considering it was just Christmas. But I got a special one, T. This is the limited edition for Destiny. And I looked at him and I said, "What's Destiny?" And that's how it all started. Now I'm here.
Right. We have your dad to thank for all of this,
Exactly.
which is awesome.
He thought I was ridiculous. Last
he's
Christmas.
right.
No, especially last Christmas. Especially last Christmas when he said, "Let me get this straight. You want a chair for Christmas?" And I'm like, "Not just any chair, Dad. I want that chair and
The chair.
the chair." And he saw it. And he was like, "Wow, that's a complicated chair, son." And I said, "Yes, it is, Dad. Yes, it is."
Not just any chair.
With a compass and a stock and this thing that tells time.
And before he passed, he did get a chance to sit in the chair. And he was like, "Oh, I see what you mean." And the, "Can I get one of these?" I was like, "No, Dad. No, you're retired.
Right.
No." All right. So welcome back to the studio, guys. Welcome back to the studio. It's good
Thanks
to be
for
back.
having us. Happy
And
Boxing Day.
Happy Boxing Day, everybody. While I am wearing a lovely fixin' from Hangry Gaming Gear over at hangrygamergear.com, Brandon over there has got a nice counter to my shirt. That's actually from Bungie.net, the Bungie store, which they got good stuff.
But he's also got the hoodie.
I do. The
Saint 14
nice.
Project. So shout out to our friends over at the Saint
Yeah,
14 Project
shout out.
podcast.
Absolutely,
Yep.
yeah, we got to have those guys on in 2019.
Damn right.
Before Guardian Con, preferably before Guardian.
You handcuffed me and told me no interviews for a while. So
Con. At least for a month, because we got a lot to talk about.
okay,
We got a lot to talk about.
yes, we do.
So-
there's this robotic chick who totally hates us all. Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. Yeah, so let's go ahead and while she's in the backdrop, she's actually peering over Nick. It's kind of intimidating because I'm actually seeing it in real time and it's intimidating as hell. But I'm enjoying it. Anyway, so let's start off. So the last game show, the last show we actually talked about
Jeopardy.
Destiny. Jeopardy, no. Was in fact what we were talking about Forsaken, and we
Like
did
first week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my book kicked in, things got crazy, and
Right.
we kind of drifted apart. Now we're back together, kind of like the Doobie Brothers, or we're on our farewell tour again. But the question is
The 13th iteration of the Eagles.
exactly. So what exactly is our? Where do we want to even begin with all the new? Should we just start off with the Festival of the not Festival of the Lost?
Well, we can start there. 'cause
Although
we
that
didn't
was
talk about
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Or the Dreaming City.
or
or-
We never
Right.
talked about the Dreaming City.
Yeah,
Right?
or the Last Wish.
Or Ascendant Challenges.
Or,
or
yeah, exactly. We fell off the rails, chat. We fell off the freaking
Didn't-
rails.
If you think that we've produced nothing, you're wrong. We've actually had some incredible interviews with voice
great
director Kevin
episodes.
McMullen. We
Yep.
had mocap actor Richard Sloniker on. We broke T's bell.
There you go.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot, and we have a lot more coming up too. We're working hard on a couple of folks.
Nick is burning the candle at both ends, and then from the middle as well. But one thing I will say about I will say this about Festival of the Lost before we go to the Dawning. They fixed the Infinite Forest with Festival of the Lost. That haunted forest was fun as hell.
They fixed the Infinite Forest for 3 weeks.
Exactly, and it was 3 glorious weeks.
why do you
I
think-
never burned out on that.
Why do you think Brother Vance doesn't get a gift for the dawn?
Makes sense. Makes
That's
perfect
true.
sense.
He's one of the only ones that didn't get anything.
That's true. I
It was
noticed
him
that.
and Tess, and I'm like,
Spider got a gift.
Yeah.
Before Brother Vance.
Mhm.
I mean, Tess I can understand because she's a selfish bitch. I still get pissed at her for the stuff that she disappoints me every time.
Just give me like 2 good things.
I know.
Ever.
And that being said, I should probably take it back because today I got a chest bump.
I finally
Oh,
got
good.
the chest bump. I
Good, good,
finally
good.
got the chest bump, and you know it's the little things.
It's a trap!
It is a trap.
You
but,
know who got that on day 1 and will never use it?
who?
Stacia.
You're kidding.
Nope. She's like, yeah, I'm not using that.
Yep.
Ah, damn it.
Remember, she's
That just kills me.
a classy and glorious warlock, though. She is, she's like me with the feedback fence. Like that's how she is with the wings. She will never not wear the
really?
wings. Yeah,
She's
it's
all about
absolutely
the
true.
wings of
Yep.
She
Sacred Dawn.
never uses the perk either.
Oh
Nope.
wow!
Just because of how they look.
She's just like, I look bitchin'.
That's how
Sometimes
she
she'll
wants.
jump up and float by accident. but-
Space magic. That's what she wants.
But I did enjoy. I seriously enjoyed the haunted forest. But let's talk now
Haunted
about the
Forest was
current. Let's talk about the current dawning and what we do and we don't like.
You want to talk about that?
Let's,
Okay.
let's jump ahead to the dawning. Then we'll get to the Black Armory, all that good stuff.
You guys all have your favorite armor exotics, right? That'd be nice if I could get one.
Oh, wait a minute. Before it was just exotic, so you gotta now you're at least one flavor of salt. You gotta slow down a
there's
little
that.
bit.
There's
I
that.
said
For
armor.
the record, we're not touching the spoiler related to the story yet. That is
Yet.
not happening in the first half of this show.
Okay, at least in the first half of the show. Absolutely.
We will
I think that's
discuss it,
fair.
but I
think
just want to
that's
let
fair.
everybody know we need to provide
No,
ample
no, no.
spoiler warning before we talk about that
I think that is
particular
totally,
event,
totally fair.
and we
got a
welcome
lot to
everybody's
catch up
opinion.
on.
Yes.
Drafty. Hey, our first comment of the game. Drafty said Vance would have gotten cookies, but I don't think Bungie wanted to put Osiris toe jam bites in the game. Well, look, the burnt edge transits was a nice
I never
touch.
got to
Really.
make those.
That was a great touch. That's a great touch. So let's real
What do
quick.
you mean you
let's-
never get? You can still make them.
No,
you can always make them.
Yeah.
not if you masterwork.
Oh, that's right. If you masterwork your Easy Bake Oven, you can't do that.
If only you had other characters on that account.
It's an account-wide.
Oh, is it really the
item, I
masterwork in the
believe,
thing?
Yeah.
So
I
anyway,
can bake you some
so
if you're nice.
So for anyone who is new to,
Menacing.
because I saw a couple people today in other people's streams actually talking about they just got Forsaken for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
So they're jumping in they're jumping in hot, and if they're new to the game, basically the Dawning is the version of Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. It's every holiday of December rolled into one and presented on Bungie's
This
servers.
is true.
Yeah.
Now last year the big appeal was the snowballs.
Oh my god.
And unlike this year where they were in the
LP.
tower,
OP.
where they were in the tower, they were everywhere, and you could go on strikes. I went on a raid recently, and I found my old Dawning banner where it kept track of the snowballs, of the people I killed using snowballs, and the woman said, "T, you have nearly 10,000 kills with snowballs. Should I be worried?" And I'm like,
Nope.
Just give me a snowball, bitch, and
It's
I'm going for
a
it.
second grenade slot.
That's
what it was.
It is.
I miss those. I miss the OP snowballs.
Yep.
I really do. I really
They
do.
were cool.
Dude, we don't even know what's coming
But
beyond the snowballs, right? I mean, there could be all kinds of. I'm waiting for the Brother Vance heel turn because everybody brings some cookies and says they're chocolate chip and they're really oatmeal raisin, and that's when
damn.
we find out he's actually one of the Vex who's been They're-
I would like to see that for next year.
yeah.
I would.
Brother Vex.
Maybe that's Penumbra.
I really enjoyed though Ava's Easy Bake Oven. I've been having a good time
Yeah.
making chocolate chip cookies and Gallardoodles. It's just ridiculous fun.
It's really fun having another thing to pursue
Yeah.
over everything that you do anyways. And I'm still I only have one upgrade for that Sparrow, so
Me
I need
too.
I need to get on that.
Yeah, I got to get on it too. But let-
I need
Oh, is that the-
like 4
and
more
let's
things.
talk
Is that
about
the
that.
sleigh?
yeah, let's talk about that Sparrow.
Dawning Cheer.
I love it. And this is right. This is hot on the heels of me just seeing the Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell as Santa Pliskin.
Oh, so good.
Call me Santa.
So good.
Is it just me? Quick tangent, chat. Was it just me, or did Kurt Russell actually do the impossible and made Santa a total badass?
It's not just you.
Okay,
It's
good.
actually good. And did you catch that? The two cops. One of them is the admiral from The Expanse.
That's where I recognized him
Yeah.
from.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that it was a solid cast, and I liked what they did with Santa.
You even have one of the guys from the E Street Band. Back
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah. I
jail.
saw that.
Yep.
And the whole gimmick with the sled, and now we got the dawning cheer, and I'm like, this is the sled, man. This
Yeah.
is the sled. I'm surprised they didn't give it like a blink feature, so that if you
Could
push
have.
that would have been
Yeah.
fun.
I'm out on the sled, by the way. I have it, and I rode it once, and I'm like, no, it's not for me. It's not for me. So,
Well,
I'd-
seeing a big old Titan on that
That thing would be kind of fun.
gorilla bars.
But no, it's
The
been
Ghost Rider Sparrow.
There is one.
It is it's being sold right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
crap.
it's for
Alright.
it's
We're
on sale
getting
right
that.
now.
I have to. I can't spend my bright dust on that.
Yeah,
I have to
'cause-
get the. I'm the only one who doesn't have the hockey mode. There's no justice, no peace.
So
Protect your
and that was something else that was introduced with the dawning, which I thought was terrific, which is the group emotes.
Oh, amen.
Oh yeah.
right.
What
Those are
a
awesome.
coup!
We need
I-
an emblem that just counts high fives.
that yeah. It was I would love to because
Brandon had it for like 2 days and nobody would high five.
Yeah.
and yet I was walking around, but I think I know why.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, me included, thought you had to have because even
No.
even
Right.
even
Right.
Biohazard babe Jenny thought that she had to have the same emote so it would work, and I was like, no, just walk up to me. She's like, hey, wait a minute, and I was like, yeah, and then we did the chest bump
Yeah,
together. That was cool.
only problem I have with it is there's two. The hitbox like range for it. You have to be really specifically
Yeah.
angled.
Yeah.
But also the amount of time it takes.
Mhm.
It's like summoning a sparrow. It's got to
It
be
is.
faster.
Yeah.
It's because otherwise it's just
But
tedious.
but now the funny thing is I now want more group emotes, and the one that I don't know where I have to make this comment, but I will make the request. I want a group emote where if one person triggers it, everybody in your fire team does it, but I want to do a haka. I want a Destiny
It's got to
haka.
happen. Yeah,
It's
and you
got-
got some push because Aquaman, right? So
Yeah.
Jason Momoa did it at the
Yeah.
premiere. So now you've got a little
Yeah.
more people know what that
Well,
is.
Even more so. You can just say look, Mimosa did it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you snap the trident in half as part of the emote?
you could if you wanted
Okay,
to. I don't
just
know.
checking.
It depends on how you feel about the movie, I guess.
Destiny
um,
emotes are weird.
But I know that The Rock, the Dwayne Johnson, he did a haka when Moana came out, and then of course you can just tell Bungie, just pull up All Blacks haka, sit back and enjoy.
Mhm.
The trick is to make sure they get the right kind of haka. They either have to find one that's in public domain because that stuff is locked down.
Okay.
You cannot copy a haka. It's copyrighted. And after what
And you'll
happened
get
on
sued.
Fortnite,
Yeah, here we go.
yeah, considering what happened
yeah.
with Fortnite, you just got to be careful about that. Or they could actually commission someone of Maori descent to say, compose for us a haka. And that would be totally ballin' if Destiny got
an original haka. I'm just saying. I just think it'd be great. Yeah, Drafty. I think
I think
I'm in.
Nick
I'm
knew
on with that.
the hockey emote was sold at Eververse last week.
That's fine.
Yeah, it'll come.
If I don't get it, I
The
don't get
hockey
it.
emote for you is like the selfie emote for me.
If I don't get it, I don't get it. I'll be fine.
Yeah, but he's actually going to use it
Oh, I love it.
responsibly.
I think it's great.
I still have the selfie emote. I still have
I do.
I don't.
the noodle bowl.
Yeah, that's true.
The noodle bowl. That's
Yes.
a good one. That's good. So, so what else about the dawning do we want to talk about? Anything in particular?
Maybe everything else I have involves the new part of the tower that we're supposed to maybe talk about. Maybe not
Forced
talk
me to
about.
use auto rifles.
We can always say we've covered what we wanted to say about the dawning.
You guys want to talk about what you? Well, no, maybe not. Maybe not. Do you have your festive
Ribbon.
sparrow? Right.
We
Yeah.
covered that.
Have you done your tricks, your sparrow tricks when you're driving the?
I haven't gotten that upgrade yet. I'm like 4 recipes away.
Yeah, the last upgrade I had was the one where as I'm moving along it goes
It shoots the
boom and it
little-
shoots a little glimmer out
It's
in the
one
back.
piece of glimmer
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, exactly. That I've done.
It's supposed to drop glimmer if you do the tricks while you're doing it,
Yeah, it'll do that as well.
It's supposed to be more.
Yeah.
and there's also supposed to be an instant summon.
Yeah, that's the one I'm actually gunning for because all of my sparrows I use normally have that upgrade.
Okay.
And it's so annoying pulling out my ghost and going, all right.
Ask away, Munchie, and thank you, Munch, for
Munch!
joining us. Munch is in chat, everybody. Say hi, Munch. Hi, Munch.
How much?
There you go. And yeah, so let's talk about the big one. Let's talk about the Black Armory.
Let's do that.
Let's
Season of the Forge.
let's just the season. Well, then okay. I thought the Black Armory was the season of the Forge. Unless
No.
you're all right, then hip to me. What is this? What is the season of the Forge, my
It's,
young
an excuse
Padawan?
for Tess to sell more stuff and disappoint us. I think the highlight of my Season of the Forge experience so far has been the Vanguard Dare cloak. That's it.
The Vanguard Dare. I have not seen this.
Because it's the Eververse exclusive Hunter set.
Ah,
The cloak is Cade's cloak, just not burnt.
gotcha,
So
gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Do you want to let everybody know what the Vanguard Dare is by
Yeah,
any
go
chance?
for it.
okay.
Here we go.
It's a lore related thing, and he's my kid.
I don't remember if it's the. Is it just whoever kills the last Vanguard or what?
Mhm.
Yeah. So whoever ends up killing the last Hunter Vanguard becomes the next Hunter Vanguard because it's the way that no hunter wants to stick around sitting in the tower.
Exactly.
For, years because that's dumb and what is nobility? We're just kind of there.
Could you imagine your character
Oh my God.
stuck
His,
stuck
Oh,
as the
man.
Vanguard, the Hunter Vanguard?
that would be bad.
Well, no, because then anytime I leave the tower, I'd get shot by an old character.
It's true. I would just I would have no problems being the Titan Vanguard as long as I got to choose where I put my tent.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That it would be real close to Amanda Holiday.
Because every season is holiday season.
every day is a holiday season.
And something we didn't mention last season was actually there's a few Cade mementos around the tower now.
Yeah.
Like by
Yeah.
the sigil in front of Zavala, there's a
plaque.
plaque
plaque.
with the Ace of Spades embedded in it.
Mhm.
And then there's the
Amanda still has the cloak, right?
yeah.
Yep.
And I think there's one more, but I don't remember.
It was really interesting when I was taking Steve Saylor, and you can find out more about Steve in our previous episode.
Blind gamer.
Yeah, Blind Gamer.
awesome.
Steve, I was doing the split screen with Steve,
Oh yeah.
and I said, "Hey, Steve, I need to show you something. Back up a bit on the sigil. I want to show you something." So he backed up, and I backed up. And it was really neat because it's in real time. I can see Steve standing next to me. For me, the plaque was there.
He hasn't done Forsaken yet.
Exactly. And I thought, oh, that's right. I can't show you that.
Like, I think Cade is still there for him.
it is. He
Yeah.
is. He is. And so what we're gonna the
Spoilers.
So the game plan, the game plan is that
You bought Forsaken.
we are going to go on ahead and we're going to. Well, he's bought Forsaken.
Yeah.
And at the start of the new year, we're gonna kick it up again. We're gonna work through the basics of Curse of Osiris. Work through the basics of Warmind, unlock stuff, and then move on to Forsaken.
I'll join you for Curse of Osiris, but I'm dropping out of that Panoptes fight.
You go right ahead.
I hate that.
All right,
fight.
so somebody needs to run your mom's character to get, because that's the last thing she has to do for Curse of Osiris.
You're right.
Is what?
Is the very last.
Panoptes.
Oh, the Panoptes.
yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I'll run it for her.
Yeah. So anyway,
See, I like when we do these things on stream because then we wind up talking about it and we all get all fired up and then we wind up playing later on tonight.
yeah, there is that. There is that. So
Speaking of what's your light level for your main?
light level.
I'll go first because T's higher than me. I'm 595.
And you're not salty about it at all.
Oh, I am.
595 is pretty damn good.
You know,
You're close to the forges.
I know, like a week ago, I was like 560 something.
Yeah, and honestly, to be fair, Brandon, to be fair, you've been playing
way more other games than I have, and I'm jelly as all get out. You go through the Spider-Man experience, and everybody tells me I need to do the Spider-Man.
He also
experience.
has 120 some more fighters than you do in Super Smash Bros.
There is that. There is that.
And Fallout. He's been playing
Yep.
Fallout.
Oh, the
I've leveled
Fallout.
up twice in the last week of Fallout. It's tragic.
Did you see the pictures of his brand new Fallout themed bathroom?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I must have missed that.
Awesome.
I can't wait to see
We
that.
got the cleanliness is godliness towels.
Yep.
And see this, but this is the thing, though. This is the thing is that see that's Brandon's jam. Whereas my jam is this: computer, tell me about the Cabal.
Oh, you have to ask Ghost.
Oh wait, ask Ghost about. Oh, shit.
is a small group of people united in some close design, usually to promote their private views or interests in an ideology,
Okay.
state.
That's that she is right.
Yeah.
I mean, she is right.
She's also hogging my mic.
Yeah, I know. All right, let me try that again. Computer, ask Ghost, who are the Cabal?
Big armor, bigger guns. Like giant space rhinos. Smash first, ask questions never.
And you see that's my jam. That's my jam. So I totally get that.
Station would call them hamsters instead of rhinos,
Yeah,
by the
or
way.
guinea pigs. You can't tell me though that like you are more dedicated to Destiny at all, because I spent the entirety of last week clearing every milestone except daily heroic story missions.
Right.
And I was like, wow, what am I doing?
There wasn't
I'm not
anybody.
saying-
There wasn't anybody more dedicated to it when Forsaken dropped than you. As soon
I
as,
was
as,
about
soon
to
as the
say,
Ace of Spades
I
became a
was about to
quest,
say.
I got that the second day.
Second
he
day.
was on fire.
I am not saying that I am more dedicated
You
to
got
any
the
of
chaperone,
them.
too.
I'm just saying that I'm just saying that 595 compared to your schedule. Also, I think last week you had like 4 concerts in a week or something like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Happy freaking holidays, bass man.
I enjoy it.
Okay, so I'm
anyway.
I'm at 571.
Not bad. Not
No,
bad.
no. I'm
Respectable.
quite content with because a lot of what I've been doing has been trying to level up Stacia, who's
Right.
gone up like 30 points.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good honor.
And then when you
She's
when,
hit the soft cap, which is new for her.
Right.
yeah, and when you get to past that, I do want to talk about exotics because I think Brandon's
And-
gotten a couple since last time we talked.
Yeah. So I'm at 631.
Oh, okay.
How's the? I guess we should probably talk about that. But keep going.
Did you want to ask about the experience with the Forge?
We should probably talk about what the Forge is before
Okay.
we talk about the experience.
Yeah,
but
we
I
should
do
save
want
it.
to. I want to hear what your exotics are because I want to see what everybody else has equipped.
I just got the Queen Breaker today.
God. That's both of you.
Sorry, Brandon. Sorry, Vinkman. I thought it was bad enough when I got the Black Talon. I'm like, I got the Queen's Breaker now.
You mean that one?
That one? Yeah, baby. And I actually got a nice little clip today. I was in the Iron Banner. Had a guy on B in the distant shore map. He was all alone, and I just went in and went whoop, and I'm like, ho, 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 ho. I go back into cover. His buddy comes out, and I go whoop, and I'm like, wow. I mean, it was a
Queen Breaker's the
ridiculous.
original linear fusion.
Right. And see Drafty here's at 649.
Wow.
So good
well
on
done.
you, Drafty. And I know Munch is pretty up there. I know Munch is up there as well. But the thing is, I was really struggling. I'm the first one to say it. I was struggling through the Black Armory,
All
and
right, so let's talk about what the Black Armory
and
is.
let's talk. Well, actually, not the Black Armory, but the first forge of the Black Armory. So let's talk about the Black Armory. This is the new DLC. This is the new DLC where we meet Ada 1. And quick trivia, it's not lost on me, right? This XO was named after Ada Lovelace, correct? Did anybody else catch that?
I did not catch that.
Really? Is my cheese standing alone on this? I really believe that. I do believe it. But yeah, Ada Lovelace, one of the pioneers in computing. It's Ada 1.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah. So there we go. So what did Ada win? I don't know, Drafty. What did Ada win? Or is that a rhetorical question?
No, it's set up for a joke. I'm sure it
I'm
is.
sure it is. With
No,
Drafty,
it's 'cause-
it's set up for a joke.
No, it's because Ada won.
Oh, Ada 1. Oh,
What did Ada win?
well done. Drafty will be here all night. Don't forget to tip your wait staff. Try the veal. Okay, so going back to Ada 1. Ada is the she's an XO.
She's the lowest numbered XO.
Yep.
Okay.
And Lore Man is about to step up.
No.
Yeah.
There's some things that happened with the release of the Black Armory, right?
Well, then go
Yes.
for it.
So not only did the power level go up by 50 points,
Mm-hmm.
but the requirement to get into some of those areas was way higher than anybody had actually achieved.
Which produced a lot of salt.
But here's what happened. Bungie, when they announced it, said this wasn't an adventure with an endgame. This was an endgame with an adventure.
Right.
So they set the bar and said, "Here's the deal, guys. Like it's going to be like remember when we started Forsaken? Everybody's like, oh my god, like I got such and such gear and none of it matches, but my power level is going up, and we were all super excited. It was the grind again. It was what everybody
Yeah.
loved about Destiny
This
1.
is the
And it was
equivalent
hard.
of being thrown in to Warmind with only escalation protocol.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's actually a very good analogy. I like that. So,
Yep.
so there was a bunch of Hemming and Han. I'm trying to keep it clean. Put coffee down. Hold on.
Yeah. Got to keep it clean.
So there was initially a bunch of backlash, and God bless Bungie, because as they always do, they sort of corrected the curve. So the initial Forge, which was which one? Anybody?
Vondir.
Vondir, exactly.
Vondir.
It had rounds that were 610, 625, and 630.
Yep.
Okay, and the grind
The recommended. Is
the
just
grind was a
610.
necessity as opposed to being a nice to have, right?
Exactly.
And that was the
Yeah.
that was the thing. And anybody's welcome to comment on this in chat. I'd love to hear what everybody thinks.
Would love to hear about the comments. And
Um,
love if you got comments about the Forge, go on ahead and let them fly.
So in the Forge, matchmaking is in play,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's good. And then post completion of the first Forge, things opened up. So there's a chain of lost sectors, and then the second forge with the servitor that was in there, and
on the first one.
yes. So
I just completed the
I
first
know.
one. I know.
so, but what you have to do?
I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about it after during the break on the extra content.
Okay.
So we'll go into detail on that. Go ahead.
Okay, good. So there were frames that you got from Ada to create forge weapons.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
This is the thing that we're doing, right? Because it is a forge, right? So you are making
And
weapons.
it's called the Black Armory.
Yes, it is the Black Armory. And so, have you finished the machine gun?
Yeah. I got the hammerhead.
Have you finished the machine gun?
Me? No.
No?
I haven't done the forge.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I did I got in the first day, did every step in half an hour, and then saw 6:10. Guess I'm logging off for today.
And honestly, you want to be at 6:15.
Oh,
You want to be at 6:15 or 6:20.
Okay. You'll be there before you know it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Drafty commented, "I see people's point of wanting it readily available, but like that you had something to work towards." And that's something I'm gonna comment on in the extra content when we take a break. But no,
The forge is hard. Bottom line. And yeah, but I mean it is hard.
and I got some truthiness to drop on this extra content break when we don't do the when we don't do it for the podcast. But Munchie, you are always welcome to ask a silly question. You are always welcome to ask a silly question. But yeah, the first forge is incredibly hard. But I will say this: the payoff is worth it. That hammerhead is ridiculously cool. It is ridiculously cool.
I'll stick to the Thunderlord
Okay,
Not
so-
say to the hammerhead.
or the
man.
Avalanche.
That avalanche is sweet, but the
It's a
hammerhead.
pocket-sized
Oh my
machine
god,
gun.
the hammerhead.
So the avalanche you get from what?
The Dawning. It's the very first
Yep.
gift that you give. You give it to Zavala, and he hands you a pocket-sized machine gun.
Right. So that's all tied to Ava.
Yes.
Okay, good. Just
No, yes, Ava.
And Munchie's question is that the DLC
Or
is
Eva.
only a forge and new guns. Yes and no. It is there's some questing involved,
I'm so glad you asked that. 'Cause
and there's also not one forge but 3 forges, and
far.
so far, and the guns that they yield are extremely powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
So the first forge was which one?
Volunteer.
Volunteer.
What's the second forge?
Go Fannin.
Go Fannin, which is the servitor.
Oh.
That's the servitor's name.
Yeah, that's a servitor one.
Oh.
Yes. And those two are already out, right?
Yeah, and the third one's out too, if I remember
Yeah, it
correctly.
is.
Yeah,
Which is
third
which
one's
one?
out.
Izanami.
Izanami, right? Not Izanagi. They're two different characters with two wildly cool connected stories. But and then still to come is
I don't know those.
Well, I don't
okay.
know
So
either.
so still to come is all part of this because we're Bungie's moved past we're releasing everything day one strategy because then everybody goes
Thankfully.
through a bunch of stuff and then they just log in on Tuesdays and that's it, right?
Yeah.
So the Niobe Labs is coming. It doesn't have a date. The Exotic Quest, the Draw, Brandon,
You know it.
is January 29th.
I'm gonna do that one in a day.
Yes. And then Crimson Days comes back on February 5th.
That's gonna be fun.
Yes.
All right.
We have to finally run doubles.
Yes, we will. Yes, we freaking will.
So let me go real quick over the.
Actually, no,
Nope.
I want you to hold on that because we're going to go ahead and take a quick break.
It's a bug in my
And
machine.
that's actually a break for the podcast. And when we get back, we're talking a lot more about what's coming down the pike.
We're really excited about 2019. Right after this break.
Okay, chat. Hi, everybody.
I even have I have a quote from Paul Tassi of all things. Like, my notes are so silly. I don't even know.
This is great.
I wish I was this good a student when I was in school.
So we're just gonna
No, I
do
don't.
we're going to do like a quick 20-minute, 30-minute riff. Just this is extra content for anybody who comes and hangs out with us on the stream. And
While you're doing that, I'm going to make another cup of coffee.
you go right ahead.
Okay.
Go right ahead. So
Don't leave me alone with him.
I'm not going to leave you.
Hey,
alone.
you guys, play
Oh, wait,
doubles.
you're-
Play doubles.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Actually, so one of the things I was going to talk about was the truthiness of what happened. So Coach,
Wait,
Co-
of what happened?
I was going to talk about my first Forge experience.
Get out. Go make your coffee.
I mean, I can hold on to that experience until you get back.
I thought you were going to talk about the world's first and that whole backlash and everything else. We don't.
No, I wasn't going to go. I wasn't going to go down there. I was going to go down that route.
Okay, cool.
The magic of spontaneity, Twitch, and coffee.
It's your next series.
Standalone question: are the guns any better than the normal guns, and how, if they are? That's a good question, Munch. Okay, so I can speak from experience with the Hammerhead. The Hammerhead has the punch of the Thunderlord, but it has the steadiness of the Avalanche.
Oh.
And it just melts the opponents. Also, it looks drop dead sexy. Not as sexy as the Necrochasm, but drop dead sexy. It's a beautiful gun.
Is it sexy because it's dangerous?
It's sexy because it's sexy. I mean, it's just absolutely
I've
gorgeous.
seen the design of them. I love the black armor.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're like the Porsche of guns. I mean, they are, man. And I know that they were talking about the new Shoddy. I'm trying to remember the name of the new Shoddy. It was not Hammerhead. It was Threat Level.
Oh,
Threat Level. Yeah, they were talking about that today. Apparently, the threat level, and it does. It looks great, but apparently, it's a tank. And I know that I'm pretty anxious to get my hands on that. I've been, like I said, I've been really hot and cold about the fusion rifles, but then I got the Queensbreaker
yeah,
today.
of course you did.
And I was stunned when it dropped.
I mean, if you shoot any hand cannon well enough, it's basically a fusion rifle.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty German, yeah, I know. So it's a VW.
Damn German cars. So the new
Black Armory weapons I think are pretty solid, but you got to get to them first. And so here's my
I'm trying.
And here's my story behind it. So basically, I was trying really hard and failing miserably to a point where Coach very graciously said, I don't want to do this anymore. He just said, I don't want to do this anymore.
Wow.
And he'd already done it.
Oh.
He had already done the first forge and the second forge. And I think he had given attempts at the third forge. But he basically just said, he just said plainly, I don't want to do this anymore. And I tried to do it with rando pairing. And I had the bad experience where somebody was like, "Oh, this guy's a total noob. I'm out," and literally just dropped out in the middle of it, which will happen. But it was something that Obi said that just really kind of shook me to the core, and I told you about it.
Bulbasaur. No, that wasn't it.
No, that was not it. It was when and I don't think Obi was being mean. He was being Obi. He was being honest. He said, "T, you're at 620. You are more than OP for this. It's down to skill." And I was really worried because I was like, so I basically don't have the skill to get past the first forge. And that was really hard for me to swallow. That's a bitter pill to swallow. You know what I'm trying to say, Chad. It was a bitter pill to swallow because I don't like it when I start working backwards in my progression in Destiny.
Sometimes you just have to really, maybe you have a mantra. Like when I meditate, when I'm playing with you guys, I get a little fired up, and then I have to calm myself back down, and I have to go.
I thought that was called.
I am a boat anchor.
I thought that was called bourbon.
Yes, that's true. Follow them to
I was just
glory.
gonna say,
Follow them to glory.
that's what I thought it was. So anyway,
God damn, I need to make that shirt. Oh, language. Sorry, Chad.
No, that's okay. This is the part we're editing out of the podcast. It's all right.
Oh.
So, but here's the thing. So Marv and Shav were watching this happen, and they just felt terrible. They felt terrible that this was going.
Is
down
Marv
for them.
on by any chance?
No, I don't think Marv is on. I read chat. I'm reading chat right now.
I was there was T was running with Marv, and we were watching on stream. Brandon's mom and I
We're watching on stream.
and her mom, my mother-in-law, called and on speaker,
Oh no! Oh no!
and that's how she got introduced to Marv's stream. And Marv is a bit of a potty mouth.
He is a
So-
bit of a
He's
potty mouth.
Bit of a potty mouth.
Wow! Yeah.
Yeah, so-
he's dropping C-bombs left and right.
All over the place. So we need to send him the remix of Contagion. We
Yeah,
need
there
to
you go.
Send that to him.
So Marv actually got in touch with a buddy of his. It was a guy named Owen, and this guy's like in the 630s. And Owen said, "Sure, I'll run with you." So it was Owen at 630, me at 620, and Marv at 605, and we did it. We did it on the second attempt. But what had changed was Marv said, "Wait a second, T. Have you unlocked everything in your well of radiance?" And I'm like, no, but I do have the Well of Radiance. And he goes, well, that's good, T, but you know what? I've unlocked the Well of Radiance. Why don't you run one that you feel more, like you said, more confident in?
Yeah.
And I said, so you want me to run Stormcaller? He was like, if you feel that'll work, that'll work. Man, was that a game changer. Suddenly, my biggest problem was I was getting
You're
overwhelmed.
not a healer.
Dude.
No, I'm not.
Dude, we did this. We did a heroic strike, the three of us.
Did we?
It's D1, and I was running.
Oh my
you
God.
know where I'm going
Defender.
with this. I was running Defender, and we failed 6 straight times. And the second I switched to friggin' the Solar, we blew right through it.
That's true.
It was exactly the same
You're,
experience.
you're absolutely right.
Like, and I was getting
Oh
pissed.
man, I thought this could be the first time I see Nick Kelly rage quit.
Yeah, well,
I remember that strike very well.
there were we had a guy when I was at the State Department. We had this guy Brian. It was Brian's first day, and I lost it to the point where I pounded a keyboard so the keys came off, and then I snapped it in half over my leg and chucked it across the room.
Wow.
And my buddy Gorilla's just sitting there, and Brian he's just horrified. Look, this is what he told me. I was out of the room, but he's just like, oh my, has he ever done that before? And Gorilla goes, yeah, every day. Just so yes, that was the old me. The new me, I can't. It's a bad, bad father figure.
But you see, that's
But
the
I do
thing.
know that he's a way better gamer. You guys are both way better gamers than I am. I'm just happy that I learned how to jump in D2.
But
That's my point. The thing is, the trigger for me, and I've discovered this because of the Forge, was
if I can't figure out what's holding me back or what that forward progression is, I start to really get uptight with myself. And and then when I switched over from Dawnblade / Well of Radiance to Stormcaller, totally different experience, to a point where I was feeling a little cocky. And in the third round, the boss was down to the last third, and I go charging in with a full super, and I go boom, and I'm melting the boss, and I hear this voice in the back. It's Marv, and he's going, T, don't move the boss, don't move the boss, don't move the boss, F, don't move the boss, F, don't move the boss, because the boss is moving backwards, but I did just enough that I eliminated him. But man, oh Shevitz, I was ready to put my head through a wall, and I kept hearing
It's a skill thing. It's a skill that you don't have, man.
right.
Like,
And I totally but I was worried. I was really stressing out that I would never get that skill. And I'm like, are you telling me that I've made it this far in Destiny and there's something that I can't do?
is it on you, or is it because you're playing with somebody else and they're like that's
their strategy?
No.
Disconnect.
No, like you feel like I can't get it, and I'm not just wasting my time. I'm wasting Marv's time, and I'm wasting this other guy who he brought in to help us out.
No.
Or is it just you?
No, for me, it's just me. It's when I get mad at the game, I rarely ever, if ever, get mad at the game. I get mad at the guy behind the controller.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that I'm doing. I want to be able to walk away from a loss, going, okay, this is what I did wrong. This is what I need to do. This is where I need to go.
Sure.
It was why I never went back into the Crucible for the longest time, because I
were afraid.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
Now it's is that a linear? Oh shit, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And so you know what the cure for that was for me was they made Gambit, and I'm like, I can do some Gambit.
And Gambit's a blast. I mean, Gambit for me is the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
It's
We need to run Gambit with us.
That's if I have to say my favorite.
I've run Gambit with you at Guardian Con, but I think that's it.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
Wow.
that's one of my top moments of the year was the fact that we got to Guardian Con, we get there at the VIP, to the fact you guys get to play that early because it was.
You know what I really want?
lasting.
I do need to play more anyway because I'm going for the breakneck, and I have like 8 out of 40 rounds.
Okay, guys, here's
the Uber challenge. You know what we need to do? We need to form a fire team. 3 of us and Steve.
I'll still finish last, but I'm in. I'll do it.
I'm gonna be the only invader.
Yeah. I could give it a shot. I mean, I could.
One shot.
Hey, no, to be fair, when that challenge for the chaperone came up, where they said you had to get 15 shotgun kills, I was like, that's gonna be a beast.
How is he? Is
When
he
I
bringing
did it
a
in an hour and a
PlayStation?
half, what?
Oh no, you have 2 PlayStations.
No, I have one PlayStation. Oh, no, second PlayStation's in there.
Yeah, okay. I was
That's-
just trying to figure
that's
out how, like, if he plays
That's the
too,
boy
like, how it
machine.
forms.
Yeah. So Steve can log in on
Read
his.
it, boy.
Read it, boy. Yeah. Good times.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know if you heard that, but I did isolate it.
I know.
Read it, boy.
I just never get bored. That never gets old. But no, it was tough love. It was tough love from yeah, I know the echo is random. I honestly, Munch, I'm at a point where I am.
Did you give your raid experience?
Oh no, we can talk about that in the second half. Unless you want to talk about, do you want to talk about raid experience on mic for the podcast?
Sure.
Or do you want to do it just as exclusive content?
No. I was a little bit psychologically fascinated by the fact that what pisses you off in your own limitations. And like I said, I just want to know if it's like for me, if I'm playing by myself and I get stuck on something over and over and over
Right.
again, I'm like, I just need to go grind. I'll go somewhere else and I'll come back when I can beat the shit out of this thing, which is a Xenoblade Chronicles lesson because
It is.
you'll
Fair,
be
fair enough.
in a spot that has everything's level 6, and all of a sudden here comes a level 92 thing that just steps on you, and you go,
I mean, it
I'm
was
gonna remember that in 3 months, bitch. Like that's
it was part of what I mean.
that you're right.
right. I mean, but you had that experience too.
I did, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, sir. Well,
I miss
okay. What about you,
Xenoblade.
Brandon? What is it in gaming that sort of that clicks with you? That
sword.
That makes me mad.
that triggers you. That makes you angry.
I'm just like every other gamer in that regard, where anything I find unfair that I would use myself against opponents to piss them off is triggering to me.
It's you. So yeah, and I could tell you where I see it with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's whenever there's a completely ridiculously overpowered character in Overwatch that everybody suddenly jumps on and starts using. You're like,
That can be annoying. That can be annoying.
right. But we have it in. There's guns in Destiny that the same way that
So that it's the Telesto meta, the
Telesto.
Graviton
Telesto.
Lance.
Telesto.
It's the calming. It's the as I like to say, I
broken exotics.
to
F your Telesto.
Yeah, to harken back to the Christmas season, I see a cold hearth and a stool with a Telesto propped against it. I fear the worst for Tiny Tim. I mean, it's true.
Outstanding.
I mean, it's the worst. But I mean, at the same time, though, the going back to what I was saying, where I get upset in a game is when I feel like I'm not moving forward or I'm not learning from the experience. Case in point.
Okay.
Okay. The Order 1886. The only game chat that I played that made Nick want to rage quit, and he was just watching me play it.
That game was awful.
It was a beautiful game, but the mechanics were just terrible.
It was if you took your hitbox and randomized it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time you went back, it was be like, oh, you think the hitbox is there? No, it's over here now.
Right. Oh,
And-
and by the way, you have to start 15 feet further back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
It's like
it was
if Assassin's
really
Creed and
ridiculous.
BioShock were combined to be made by an indie developer.
Oh, the mechanics are so bad.
Yeah, but I mean, but the thing is that and I would sometimes hit brick walls like in games like BioShock Infinite and the original BioShock. But then after going back and thinking, okay, well, what I tried this, that didn't work. I tried this, that
I'll
didn't work.
hijack your stream and play it.
And we see, I hate that. I hate that. I mean, and I know that people actually pay people
No, I
to
know.
do that for them. But I'm just like, I want to be able to figure it out. I want to be able to advance.
So I'll tell you.
And I want to be able to earn it myself. I love a challenge. And that's why I wanted to beat the Forge so badly, was because I don't want to back away from the challenge. And
That's
so,
why play Destiny so much.
what?
What?
Say what? Say what?
So similar experience, like when you've hit a limitation,
Yeah.
and you're trying to build your skill, either grind, get your character more power, or yourself better skills or whatever to overcome something, and you just can't. It's very satisfying feeling when you do, right?
Oh, yeah.
But when that limitation exists for no logical reason whatsoever, and I'm looking at you, Bard's-Tale 3, you son of a bitch, where you couldn't clear this dungeon unless you went into these 4 rooms in like the same order 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
That had nothing else to do with the rest of it. It was just like, how do we make it more complex? Like, shut up, dude. Like, keep it in the logic of the game. You know what I mean?
And I'll go you. I'll go you with another thing too. What has really been
just absolutely traumatic for me
Okay.
has been jumping into
PC play with mouse and keyboard, and suddenly I am jumping like a pro through all of these challenges, and I'm like, I'm on a PC. This is supposed to be harder. Why can I jump
Nope.
easier?
No,
Not
PC's
harder.
Easier.
And I see, and
PC
that,
is way easier.
that was a total shock to me. Total shock to me.
Dude, mouse and keyboard is superior to everything.
Plus- race.
Plus a better frame rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, much better frame rate. I will
But
give you
that's why
that.
you can adjust so much.
Although it was
easier.
funny, Owen was watching me. Owen was watching me do the jump puzzles, and it was for the up and up.
Oh God.
and that's a rough one even on a PC. That's a rough
Yeah.
one. And I'm like changing my jump midstream because the stone's disappearing, and I happen to glance at my chat and I see Owen going, "T, I'm getting so triggered right now. I'm having an anxiety attack watching you." And I'm like, yeah, you don't want to be me right now.
The
playing
last thing
this.
we ran last week where it was the three of us. And
How you doing, Paul?
Same. I was just like, "Bet, don't even let it start. Don't let the snowball start down the hill to turn into the avalanche.
Right.
I hate this jumping stuff." It was just like, "Nah, I made it. Okay, cool. All right, cool. I made that one. All right, cool." You know, like, it was just sort of, I don't know, with Forsaken. I don't know if Forsaken or if it was Destiny 2, where it's this, dude, we're out in space. I'm a robot. I'm supposed to travel like this. You know what I mean? There's like this sort of switch that flipped in my head. Other than
I mean, I do think that they, you know, with all the faults that we've talked about, even on this podcast, I think that I think Bungie has really created a strong game, a game that is, and I do find it funny how there's been this weird shift where one minute people are saying it's too easy, you know, you're not giving us more stuff to do. Now people are not the same people, maybe some of the same people are complaining now that it's too hard, there's too much stuff to do, and I don't know which way I want to go. And it's like, look, you know what, you're not going to make everybody happy, and Bungie
Right.
has been bending over backwards to make people happy. The only reason EA Games folded the way they did on Star Wars, was it Star Wars
Battlefront 2.
Yep.
Yeah, was the stink that was raised over it. Not even a whiff of a stink on Destiny. Just, you know, I don't like this, and Bungie's like, right, what can we do to fix it?
Well, and
You know?
so the, you know, the two ends of the spectrum are the hardcore gamers and the casual gamers, and
Right.
they did an interesting fix, which was they increased the drop rate if you're below 600, so that you get more exotics that have higher. So it helps with the grind up to a certain point,
Yeah.
and then beyond that, it's like, all right, listen, now the grind is the grind, dudes. This is how we design the game. We'll give you we'll give you some training wheels for a little while, but once that number starts with 6. Experience is going to be a little different.
So real quick, I want to say shout out to Meaty Loves You. Thank you very much for popping in on chat. Do appreciate it. Paul Fisher from Balticon and other events.
Thanks
Good
for
to see
coming.
you. Jenny Herring, Biohazard Babe herself. Thank you very much for jumping in.
Hi, Jen.
And you know, Munchie is hanging in there with us. I thought he was going to bed, but you know, now he's giving me gruff about Tomb Raider.
Munch doesn't sleep.
Munch is a vampire. I'm convinced Munch is a vampire. All right, so
Runs on alcohol.
and that too, yeah, alcohol fueled vampire. Okay, so real quick, what do we want?
Alcohol heals primeval.
That's what I want on a T-shirt.
Booze heals primeval.
Booze heals primeval. Bourbon heals primeval.
Bourbon heals primeval.
Single malt Scotch heals primeval. All right, so where do we want to pick up from? Do we want to talk about the raid experience?
I do want to. I want to hear your two because they're very different.
Yeah, and then we'll take it from there.
We don't need to go through the list of what the new
Weapon.
weapons are.
Nope, I think we're good with
You
that.
don't make
Then I didn't
fangirling
really
about
have
the
any.
monarchy.
I didn't really have any.
Do we
notes.
want to cover stuff on the black armory and backlash? Do we want to lead in with that, or
We
what?
already
It's over.
just did.
It's over.
Over and done. And we are not talking about the big. We're not talking about the big spoiler. I'm assuming, correct?
What?
This half.
I thought we are. I thought we were.
Yeah. I think
This
we. I
half
think
we
we
are.
are. I think we should.
Yeah, this half.
Is it?
Yeah,
Are we
this
back to
half.
week 1? Is it back to?
Yes, this is week 1.
So no meatballs in
No
Gambit.
meatballs.
No meatballs.
Yeah, everyone in the community had, like, subconsciously agreed not to talk about the spoiler until the curse week was over.
Well, that's fair enough. Okay. Well, I mean, and
Now
yeah.
that it's canon,
Yeah.
which is now that it's
it is.
canon, that's fair.
Yeah,
And for God's sake, GameStop needs to make the pulled pork go shell.
they do. They also need to stop spoiling things from random games.
GameStop?
Yeah, because if you bought the annual pass, it revealed the name of the last season for Penumbra.
Oh wow, I missed that. Huh. Well, okay.
Do you want to know what it is?
No, I'm
Exactly.
good. Ooh,
Now I'm
Paul Fisher
first
has pork
knowing it.
shoulder in the slow cooker. Everybody, just saying. Just randomness right there. Om nom, om nom nom.
Season of the blank, right? For Penumbra, because
Season of the Redacted, right?
yeah, because it's a mystery. They revealed it through the. They were like, it's,
Don't tell me on the
I'm
drive
not
home.
gonna tell you. I'm saying it's. They were like
Welcome to my world, chat.
Black Armory, Season of the Forge, and Joker's Wild, Season of the Drifter, and then Penumbra and Season of the Blank with the actual name, and freaking GameStop spoiled it. So
Oh,
So, are we on this page? Which page are we on?
we're done. I mean, other than talking about your raid experiences,
All right, that works. That works well.
I don't know what my FM update is.
It's your note And you don't know what FM stands for.
It's been like 2 weeks.
For my loss. Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay, well then let's go ahead and let's bring us back in.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. You wrote the note, man.
FM.
FM. You can hear the music on AM radio. AM radio. I have no idea.
I'm on a Mexican
Radio.
radio.
On a Mexican
Radio.
Okay, chat, real quick. Just so you know, we are still, well, not we, Twitch is still hosting a charity. If you don't know all the details about that charity, hang on 1 minute. Oh, wait,
Donate
there it
bits.
is. Right there. It just dropped in. I could not have asked for a better cue, Nightbot. Thank you. This holiday season, Twitch is basically collecting bits. And for every 1,000 bits, not you, but every 1,000 bits that is raised across Twitch, $2 is going to go towards the charity stream, the charity directrelief.org. And they basically go in sites of natural disasters, and they basically help people get back on their feet. So it's a great charity. I know that Twitch has raised at this point roughly probably over $310,000.
I think so.
Wow.
So it's pretty epic. They've done a great job, and this charity is still going on. So make sure that you go on ahead and you drop in bits, and then add in a hashtag charity, or you can go ahead and use the charity cleared bits, which are under the bits menu. So all that's happening. Make sure that if you drop any bits during this podcast, during this Twitch stream, just make sure to add in hashtag charity, and it will count. All right, let's bring us in for the second half. Here we go. And we are back with the second half of Happy Hour with the Tower. I'm T.
I'm Nick.
I'm Brandon.
And Drafty just dropped 500 bits for the cheer.
That
For
boy.
the charity.
Thank you, Drafty.
Wow.
That's more than I've had in
I'm
my
so
entire
confused
Twitch
about
career.
what this note is that I wrote down.
I said 310,000 during the exclusive break. Try 380,000.
That $380,581 raised for Direct Relief. Well freaking done, everybody. Well, okay. I got to get a new bell.
Yes,
I
you
should
do.
I should have asked for a bell for Christmas.
Very
So, Nick, you said you had some questions for me and Brandon?
He has a question about his own notes.
He has a question about his own notes. He is now fixated on this Nick
Damn
FM
it.
update.
Yeah, so each of you guys
I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain.
That just seems appropriate right now.
have time to explain why I forgot what it was I was going to explain.
Follow them to glory.
Thank you. That will be a T-shirt before the
It
end
will
of the
be.
year,
It
the end
will
of
be.
2019. Yeah, we have plenty of things to announce before the end of 2019.
Yeah, we do.
Some of them in game, some of them out of game. Hey, forward momentum.
Aha!
This is my tattoo reveal.
Yeah.
That's
you can
what
actually,
it is.
you
It's
can now-
my forward momentum tattoo that I got.
Yeah,
in case
very
you
nice.
See that? That's
Nicely
what it
done.
was. There,
There we go.
got that in Vegas. Yeah. So Brandon, thanks to our friend Maxi Bang, you completed what for the very first time?
The Leviathan.
Let's talk about it.
Fantastic.
Let's talk about the Chalice of Callus.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I don't remember exactly who was there. I know my friend Thomas and then one of Maxi's friends, Pink, who was really cool. She was,
I love her albums.
yeah, sure. It didn't take us, I think it was like 2 hours at most. I don't remember. It's been a while. But I finally completed Leviathan, and it was something I've needed to do for the Legend of Macreus, the one exotic from year one that I'm still missing, because I haven't done the second part of that strike, or the second part of that quest.
I think I have those
You know,
leggings.
I have done so many of those those Leviathans, and not once did I get anything for the Legend of Acreus.
That's because it's a quest.
I know, and I never finished it for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Because you have to finish it. You have to do the arms dealer part. There's,
Aha! That's what I didn't do.
there's
Okay.
like 2 other things, and
Yep.
then you have to do the Prestige Leviathan, I believe.
Oh, well, there's the reason why.
Yeah.
There's the reason why. There,
And I don't
there's your
like
problem.
raids.
Yeah. Oh, there you have it.
I would watch that. You guys doing the Prestige Leviathan?
That
I don't like raids.
you don't like raids?
Not really.
Oh God, I love raids. Which is why I finished. I finished
My second during the break. I did finish my second Last Wish, which is
absolutely ridiculous. I love it. I love it. But there's a segment that, yes, I am struggling to get a grasp on. It's these series of very tiny, skinny bridges underneath. Man, whew, it's rough. It's rough, and I struggle through it. And of course, Dan Finity's there. God love him. Shout out to Dan Finity for any of my mods in chat.
Infinity.
But Dan Finity was like, "T, you coming?" And I said, "I'm getting there." And then they all laugh. And then finally, I figured out. I'm like, "Oh, I'm supposed to go down instead of up." But man,
There's no
Low road.
prestige mode for that, but I heard if you get caught griefing in the crucible that you have to floss Riven's teeth. That's what I heard.
I wouldn't believe it.
Oh my God.
Already, hey, look, already you're doing a tonsillectomy because you go into you go to
Correct.
get Riven's heart, but you're basically just going down Riven's gullet, and it's just like I'm like I don't want to know what I'm standing in. I do not want to know what these cilia looking things are that I'm standing in. But
Cilia.
but here's the thing: the more stuff I do in the Dreaming City, the more I love it. I absolutely
Yeah.
love.
That's amazing.
I went back after a while.
Yeah, and it's
The score alone is fantastic for the Dreaming City.
yeah, and then and the thing that kind of disappoints me about the scores they've been releasing for Destiny, they haven't released the score for the for the Festival of the Lost.
Oh.
They didn't release that one.
Osiris?
I liked it. You know what it
The
reminded me
score's
of?
great. It's
That's
just, yeah.
really like the only good thing about that
Yeah.
DLC.
I really like the variety of public events and lost sectors that you can do on Mercury. I think that's
And the
very point.
payoff on those. Whew,
Ooh.
2 tokens in a blue, baby.
Mm.
Two
You have to do
tokens
the
in a
public
blue.
event 30 times
Yeah,
for the triumph.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I have done it 3 times.
I've soloed it more than that. Like,
But the,
hey, look, nobody's on Mercury. It's just me and my buddy,
Shocker
Brother
that.
Vance.
Yeah.
Nope. Hey, your marshmallows are burning, Brother Vance. Turn them over. Thank you. Okay.
Meanwhile, but yeah, the score for the Curse of Osiris, it's got a Stargate kind of feel to it.
It does,
I
yep.
love it. I love that. But they didn't release a score for Stargate. Stargate. They didn't
didn't,
release a score for
because they'd get sued.
exactly. But they didn't release one for Curse of Osiris or Warmind.
Warmind's fantastic.
They
I love
didn't
it.
release a score for the Festival of the Lost, which that Christmas style music just makes me smile.
That was Halloween.
No,
Festival of the Lost was
Festival of the
Halloween.
Lost, shit. It's all blending together now. You know,
The Dawning.
The dawning.
Dawning's
Yeah,
still
the
going,
dawning.
though, so.
The dawning's still going on. But yeah, I mean, just but
Are there any Bungie rewards tied to the stuff for the dog? Can you get like a replica of Eva's oven? That would be interesting.
That would be fun.
That'd be cool.
that would be fun. So I mean, because that's where I'm going to put when my Ace of Spades arrives, I'm going to basically put some shelves behind me where Brandon is
Put it, like,
sitting.
No,
on the other side. On the other side.
Front.
Not in front of.
Oh,
On the
dear,
other
if only
side.
we
of
had
Aldred.
something to talk. Anyways, back to the raid stuff.
Yeah.
So
No, it's a gorgeous raid. The Last Wish. It's an absolutely
how long
gorgeous
now?
raid.
How long? So you've done it twice. How long does it usually take? And are you being Sherpa'd or led or?
The first time I did it, we were being Sherpa'd. There were 2 new people in the raid, and it was
Dan?
pretty intense. Dan both times.
So
Okay.
Really confusing raid.
It looks confusing, but it depends on what duty you're on.
The best thing about any of those raids is just listen to Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, when in doubt. When in doubt.
Even when people rage quit in the middle of a raid.
Drafty asks, will Ava's replica oven come with a light bulb? It should. It should be like a little easy bake oven, and you can actually
No,
make
you
like a
press
little.
a button and it actually lights on fire.
That would be cool. I think it'd be fun. But the
I hope so, Drafty.
Explodes.
But I think, but the thing I really like about The Last Witch is that it can play to different players' strengths. For example, Dan's like, okay, T, I know you're good at ad clearing, so I want you to clear ads on these different levels.
My job.
Yeah,
Crowd
And-
control.
and now and that's exactly
Brandon's
what
the
it is.
boss killer, and I'm crowd
There-
control.
there
I know
are-
exactly what my role is.
Like
I'm boss killer when I don't have my World Line 0 equipped.
I mean, and that was what was going on with in the Leviathan. In the Leviathan, when I first went through the Leviathan, I always put myself on ground duty.
Oh yeah.
And doing the thing with the pollen and getting the thing pollinated.
Nobody has the new bow, right?
The
From the Forge?
You mean the Thorn Part 2?
Le Monarque? Le
Well,
Monarque.
the Monarch is I'm calling it because I don't speak
Monarch?
French.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a G, it's a Q.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah, okay.
Something French, basically.
All I know is there's
It's
the
the Monarch.
kindled orchid is coming, and that's the legendary hand cannon. So I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
So
I still need the freaking hand cannon from the Leviathan. That's the only reason I'm ever gonna play it again.
Let's do it tonight.
But
No.
Good, because I was bluffing.
but
I know
the
what to
new
do.
the new raid that has started up, Scourge of the Past,
Yes,
They're
Scourge of
actually-
the past has been completed. I could tell you who the
And-
world's first was.
and they are basically saying if you're not at 630 or higher,
Don't
bother.
do it.
Yeah, just don't do it. It's gonna be a frustration
It's
from
D2's Wrath of the Machine.
pretty much. And I really want to crack at it.
You remember that wall, like the machine boss from Wrath of the Machine?
Oh, I remember that
Yeah,
one.
they squared it.
Yep. And but I definitely want to crack at it. But I'm gonna wait until I'm enlisted at 640, and then I'm gonna start going. Hey Z, are you running? Drafty, are you running? Dan, are we running it? And then just take it from there.
You need to. I
just love
if you've
doing
got
raids.
if you got your raid speed dial list, you need to get Maxie on that list.
Yeah, I want to get Maxie on that list.
She's so cool.
She was awesome. She was awesome to me at Guardian Con. And that's the truth, chat. If you are looking for an event to do in 2019, Guardian Con, that's the place to be. It's a great event in 2019. What? You give me a look, side eye?
No, keep talking.
What?
I think you might be going alone.
I'm oh dear, really? I'm gonna be flying solo?
Yes, sir.
Wow. I don't know if I can handle it.
Guardian Con was moved up a week, so it's now July 5th and 6th, and it's in Orlando instead of Tampa. So if you already have, I don't know, a family vacation that happens every 4th of July, it's going to be very, very difficult to pull this off.
There is that.
Yes.
There is that.
But there will be some divide and conquer going on this year anyways, because we're going to be at multiple cons at the same time.
There's that as well.
Yes. So, yes.
Okay.
You are planning on going to BlurredCon, though?
BlurredCon?
Yes. So weekend after Guardian Con.
Wasn't planning on it, but I can always try.
Well, Brandon and I will be there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's
in Arlington.
It's in Arlington. Yeah, I know it's close. It's just not necessarily, it's just not necessarily the event that we would be featured at because we are horrendously white. But
it's true.
It's if we can get in there, we can get in there. Sure, why not?
Last year when I had, it was fun. Trust me.
Anyway. So there's that, but no, I didn't realize that I may be flying solo at Guardian Con.
You may be flying solo at Guardian Con.
Ooh.
This just in.
Yikes!
High five Dan for me.
Okay, I will.
Dan's not going.
Jeez, really?
Yeah, Dan's going to like a wedding. So Dan's not going. Lulu's not going.
Wow.
Those are two of the first things that I found out, other than what weekend it was. So I know those two won't be there.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, I think he's got like a wedding in Germany or something he's going to.
Wow. Woof.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to
Stop by.
Dang. Okay. Because the whole idea of us having a table there and all that stuff,
I know.
we might have to rethink that. So we'll.
Is this real quick? Yeah, chat. This is new. This is news to me. Is this official?
or are we even like trying to crunch numbers, or is this an official thing?
We can crunch numbers. It's going to just be a logistical nightmare for us because we have to also consider we will not be home.
Right.
So we have to figure out the wife, the mother-in-law, the dog, and the cats, and all
Got
that. So moving parts. So we would be, and then I have to figure out where we would stay and everything else because I think the host hotels. Well, it's not off the, it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
Okay.
It's just highly
So
unlikely.
you're saying there's a chance.
Saying there's a chance.
All right. So here's the big question. Then this will help me plan. Do you want me to try to get us a table, or no?
You can try. I think everybody's been named because everybody's showing their acceptance letters and everything about Guardian Con.
About.
Yeah, have you heard of Twitter?
Yeah. And I've been watching it, but I haven't seen anybody.
Everybody's posting there. Congratulations, you've been accepted to at Guardian Con.
Wow. No, I have not seen that.
2 weeks ago.
Wow. No, I didn't even see that at all. I didn't realize they were nailing down the schedule that soon in advance.
Twitter and coffee, kids. Yeah.
Well, okay.
They're about
then.
6 months ahead of MagFest in terms of locking out the schedule.
Okay, that's one way. That's one way to run an event. All right, that because I remember that was the last time.
I don't know about getting a table, but
we're going completely off topic here. But basically, the thing about Guardian Con,
we will talk about pulled pork before.
We will talk about pulled pork. But the thing about Guardian Con is I remember that one of the reasons why they didn't do a podcast track last year was because they were getting people committing way in advance, and then in like the last month before the event, they were going, "Yeah, I'm not coming."
Oh,
and it's like you don't do that. If you're committing
right
6 to 7 months in advance, then you make sure you're not going anywhere that week. So okay then. Well, all right. This is going to be a fun Guardian Con. All right. Then let's move on. Next topic.
Is this where we want to issue spoiler alerts?
Is it really a spoiler alert at this point?
Yes.
Let's say this.
All right, it's still
Let's
a spoiler
say
alert.
I
There's
have friends who haven't even beaten the Red War yet, and they're planning on Forsaken.
Fair enough.
There's something in the game. It is canon because we've all now done it.
Yep.
Individually or as a team.
And at this point,
If you are if you are listening to the podcast,
if you're watching the stream, we are about to do spoilerific stuff. But if you are listening to the podcast, jump to the time code that you see in the show notes.
If you didn't do full curse week Oracle engine thing on the week of the December 18th, leave now.
Right.
Yeah.
If you haven't gone to go see the Queen the week before Christmas, we're saying the same thing 3 different ways because we want to make sure that we don't spoil anything for you like it was spoiled for some of us.
Yep. Looking at you, Brandon O'Neill, jackass. Anyway, get him on the show.
I'm working on him. Still working on
I got words for him.
Yep.
So let's talk
Make that
about
happen.
the comeback kid, Aldrin Sov.
Yeah.
Woof. Talk about a punch to the jimmies.
I'm okay with it.
Really? The kid who spent 2 days hunting that ass down.
It's a brilliant twist.
Oh, it's
It's
potentially
potentially a brilliant twist.
And somebody said this about it. Someone said, if this guy does become the vanguard of the hunters that people are speculating that he will be, they actually say, Cade Six would appreciate that.
So,
in fact,
okay.
he would find it hysterical.
So let's say this is what happened, and then I'll let you take over because it goes back to what you talked about earlier. Okay, so everybody who's completed the Forsaken mission and has gotten through the Barrens and has completed the story for that knows that the lights go out and there's a gunshot and Aldrin Sov is dead. Right? That's not a spoiler. If it's a spoiler, then you're 3 months behind us.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, to be fair, we're 3 months behind us.
Correct. But at the beginning of the story mode, at the beginning of Forsaken, there's a great, huge prison break scene and a wonderful action sequence. And Cade Six winds up getting his ghost shot, Sundance, and then winds up getting killed by Aldrin Sov. Okay, that's not a spoiler either. Okay.
Wait, what?
Right? Right. Oh, wait, is that...
I've got a bad feeling about this.
What did you think your shirt meant? So, okay, so at this point, after the story mission, Aldrin Sov is gone, dead, deceased. We have the huge memorial.
He's pushing up the daisies. He's tripping the lights fantastic. He's gone off and joining the bleeding choir.
Pettit.
This is an ex-awoken.
So as you go through the Ace of Spades mission, and you're listening to all the little recordings that Cade has left for you and for everybody else. Which, by the way, terrific job. Terrific job on that.
What?
All of the this one's for Zavala.
Oh yeah.
It's
oh my God.
Amazing.
Ace in the Hole was just gut wrenching. What a great mission to go on.
Read the lore.
Okay.
If you don't read
on the Ace of Spades?
the lore for the man they call Cade.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't read those cards, you are missing out.
Oh, I remember reading them, and it was just awesome.
Yes,
it was just awesome. I loved it.
So, one of the things that Cade says is what? Whoever kills him gets
everything.
Gets all of his stuff.
Yeah, gets all of his stuff,
including his debts.
Yep.
What did we talk about the first half of the show, Brandon? The Vanguard
Dare.
The Vanguard Dare.
Yep.
Which means whoever kills him is the poor sap who's going to be the next Hunter Vanguard. So there's also a lore card for this little poor ghost that's scanning everything in sight, everything possible, including pieces of rebar and concrete.
And his name is
Pulled Pork. And I
can get behind that.
Just trying to find his guardian, who, as it says on the card, could potentially be the best guardian of all time. And when you
it does.
when you go to talk to the Queen, and there's a little thing that looks like where you first woke up, and it says, look closer, and you look closer, there's the cutscene. And lo and behold, who's floating over the terrain but Pulled Pork. And he comes across a body, and he decides that the Traveler's Light needs to be part of this body, and that body needs to be brought back to life and become a guardian. And that person sits up, and it is
Aldrin Sov.
Aldrin frickin' Sov. That's
Food on
right.
Noodles himself.
Master of Crows, Aldrin Sov. So, according to the Vanguard Dare,
he's the new Vanguard.
Yep.
How's that going to go over, kids?
It's weird though, right? Because he's
How is it weird?
It's supposed to be whatever.
Because when you're revived, you don't have any memories.
Mm-hmm.
That's an important clarification.
Yeah, so Aldrin doesn't know he killed Cade.
He doesn't even know who Cade is.
Exactly. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know he was the awoken prince.
Right.
Really.
Right.
He also doesn't know.
He's back to what the character originally was before they even decided what he was going to be.
Yeah. He's also like the exact same as any hunter who picked a hunter in D1. the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've ever had a case of someone killing the Hunter Vanguard, dying, and then coming back as a Guardian for their first time ever. So it's interesting because I'm actually excited to see him come back. It's going to be great for storytelling.
Yep.
And
I think
I hope he's the new Vanguard. Honestly,
I think it's an incredible plot twist, and I think it's a great.
Hunters need a Vanguard.
Well, yeah, the Hunters need a Vanguard.
So here's my question. So I'd like to kind of go through the roster. If he comes back to the tower, it's all because of pulled pork.
Yeah.
It's all because of you, pulled pork. The reactions from the NPCs.
Oh, from Zavala and Ikora are going to be ridiculous.
Don't leave Amanda out.
Oh, or I mean, just any of them. Amanda. I mean,
Well, Zavala was the one who was all professional about it and didn't really care.
And
if
I think
Aldrin
that
died.
I don't think he didn't care.
Well, he
just
more
said-
focused on the people.
I think
he was more focused on
he
the
wasn't
the
out
bigger
for
mission.
redemption.
I think
No, he
this-
was not.
I think that script flips. I think Zavala loses his freaking mind.
Ooh.
I think he loses his cool, and Ikora's got to be the one who reins him in. I don't see it working any other way. Cause
I actually go with that because it seems like Ikora. We saw like we saw Rage Ikora during the Red War, and we even see an edge of it during Forsaken. But then when
No. We saw partial rage Ikora when Cabal attacked the tower. We saw full rage at Cade's funeral.
we did. But the thing is that
when she called Zavala out.
yeah. But then we have this. But every time you go back to Ikora at the tower, she seems very somber, and she seems like she's lost. So yeah, I could see it where Ikora's like, no, we take a high road, and Zavala's like, I want a piece of him.
Yeah.
I guess where I'm disappointed is I liked the fact that there was a sense of balance with the Vanguard in that we had an awoken Titan, an Exo Hunter,
Yeah.
and a human Warlock, and now we have two Awokens and a human. It's a tiny detail, but I personally am like, okay, you know what we could do without a Hunter Warlock. I mean, I'm sorry, a Hunter.
Yeah, we could do without both those things, and then we could do without the Awoken. As long as it look,
a Hunter
You know we're
Vanguard.
both awoken, right?
I know.
I
All you
know.
need is Exo Titans. Look, we can fight the war. That's what we do.
All right, fine,
That's
whatever.
what we're built for.
Anyway, but you see where I'm going with this, right?
I do.
Mean, I just.
But at the same time,
I know this is what's going to happen. This is my
bold
bold
prediction
prediction.
wise, it's genius.
My bold prediction.
Okay, bold
Shax
prediction
is going to
coming.
yell, and Tess is going to say some nonsensical thing about Fenchurch. That's all. I guarantee those two things are going to happen. Beyond that,
That'll be
I
it,
make
yeah.
no guarantees.
Yeah. I mean, so
I don't know. Maybe they'll bring Ada up from the basement. She's an Exo.
She is.
I mean, for a second, I was like, would they make her the Vanguard? But nah.
Hell no. She hates Guardians.
I know exactly.
She does, yeah.
Exactly. That's why I don't think.
And for the longest time, we thought it was going to be Hawthorne. This is what's so great. If you go back a couple months when Cade got
Oh,
killed, we
yeah.
were all like, "Who the hell's going to be the next Vanguard?" And
yeah.
for them to pull this whole
Yeah.
man, were
Yeah.
we all wrong?
Yeah.
I think there was one point where one of us brought up that, like, watch it be Aldrin or some stupid thing that we said. But I don't think anyone actually expected it.
Well, Drafty brings up a good point. Drafty says
Bring it, Drafty.
Banshee told us to put a bullet in him,
Yeah.
and
He's not going to remember that.
no, he's gonna be like who's Cade? And I mean that could be an entire DLC for 2019.
We all thought it was going to be Shiro at some point.
We did. I miss
Yeah, that's
Shiro.
right. That's right. I thought they were gonna bring Shiro out from the Iron Banner.
Well, maybe when the Siva comes.
Yeah.
Again.
One can hope. One
It
can
did in the
freaking hope.
Thunderlord quest.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, it's just one of those.
Cosmodrome.
Oh yeah, the Cosmodrome.
Yeah.
But I
That was fun. God, can we talk about that?
which one?
The return of the Cosmodrome for the Thunderlord
Oh.
quest. Holy cow!
That was so
That was
much
awesome.
damn fun.
And
to
even
see
the
that
even the
giant
boss
wall
fight, even
again.
the boss fight felt like a D1 boss fight because you were like, oh, okay, here's the guy that I'm gonna kill, and all of a sudden, boom! Oh, and there's a servitor again. Where did that come from? Like,
Yep.
and I did the same. I blew it the first time around because I'm like, I'm gonna just unload all my heavy ammo, and no, there's another bad guy. I think I've seen this
I
somewhere
do, I
before.
do. I
think I've felt this.
The,
And then you're trucking across all the
and,
broken cars. Oh, it's so good.
and then for them to say the things like, oh, and man, some of the poses that the skeletons were in while they were in the cars.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was gut wrenching. But the but again, being able to be walking around the costume and being told, "Oh yeah, we're not allowed here because this has been quarantined." I'm like, ooh. But you see, that's the thing. That's the thing that makes me nervous, though. Okay, so we beat Siva, but it's quarantine, which means, is there anybody monitoring what's going on?
Beat
in
it.
You don't think we beat it? No.
No more than the Iron Lords did.
Yeah. Well, there's that. There's that.
Ask them how that worked out.
Yeah. How's that working out for you?
Right.
This is mean.
Well, if victory means you're alone with a pack of wolves on the side of a mountain, then maybe, I guess, sort of you beat it, but not really. So that's another card that they have to play.
Yeah.
And again, kudos to the game for everything since Forsaken. Forsaken was absolutely a Western. Everything about it was, tumbleweeds and 6-shooters and.
Well, we don't have a 6-shooter yet. Wait for the 29.
How many shots are in the Ace of Spades?
12, I think.
Oh, all right. Well,
It's a
space
lot.
6-shooter. It's metric system.
Yeah, it's working on the metric system, exactly.
Right.
All right, so guys, I think we should wrap up the show. It's been
So
been a great stream. Been good to talk about the game
Got to
again.
go get in orbit. We got to go see where this week's flashpoint is, so we can go knock some stuff out.
It's actually the Tangled Shore.
Sweet.
So
Is that true?
Yep. This week's.
Oh yeah, because you played this morning.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually pick up for the first time bounties for the Tangled Shore.
Can I tell you my thought on Spider? And I don't know if you'll get this reference or not.
Go for it.
I really think if you, and I want to get the actor on to talk to him about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time I hear him, I think of Sidney Greenstreet as Nero Wolfe, the old detective.
Yeah.
If you that inflection and that really heavy breathiness and everything else, like that's what I hear every time I hear the Spider.
And see, for me, and this is where I'd love to talk to the actor about where his inspirations come
I'll get
from. Now, granted, I think didn't they say that they record the lines without seeing the footage?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So to me, he probably didn't get this or wasn't being told that he was doing this. But the way Spider plays with the dead ghost,
Yeah.
it's like a cross between Brando from The Godfather,
Yeah.
mixed with, and I cannot remember the character's name, but it's so everyone knows Mutiny on the Bounty, but there was an actual modern telling of Mutiny on the Bounty that was released set in World War II with Humphrey Bogart. It was called the Caine Mutiny. And the captain had this weird tick. He had this weird thing where whenever he was getting super stressed out, he would pull out these ball bearings and he would basically roll the ball bearings in his hand to make this very very unsettling click 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 click.
That's
And he
cool.
would do that, and it was a neat little touch that Bogart came up with. And to me, that's Spider's. He's the combination of both. That he's got
He's toying with the dead ghost in his hand, showing that he is in some form of control.
But he's got that sound, that Brando sound.
I gotta send you some Nero Wolfe. I
Brando
think you'll like my part to it too.
I believe it. No, I believe it. No, Spider is one of the coolest new characters I think there's
We'll
been.
get
in
Robin
years.
on the show.
And
I'll work
I
on it.
love that guy.
This is what I've learned about this, by the way, if you guys are interested in how the behind the scenes of this stuff works. We've had way better luck reaching out directly to the talent than reaching out to the representatives.
That's true.
I won't lie to you.
That's true.
And that's
That
all
is true.
because of Courtney. Courtney just kind of set the bar high, and everybody else has got to meet that. So.
And the securing voice talent has been great, and I mean Bungie got our cards, and that would be the one reason I would be really, well, not the one reason, but one big reason I would be driven to come back to come back to Guardian Con. I really want to just connect with Bungie again and go, look, I really want to get you guys on the show. We would love to have some Bungie people on. Also, I've got a book out. It's called Twitch for Dummies. It'll be coming out then, and I mean, there's another reason for me to go to Guardian Con.
That'll pay for the table.
I'd have to sell a lot of freaking books to be able to do that.
That'll
but
pay for the table.
But let me go back and find out. I was like, I did not realize they were locking down the presenter schedule that early.
Oh, you need to just look at the Guardian Con or hashtag Guardian Con. Look at the mentions, you'll see it.
Fair enough. Well, fair enough. But that's the thing. I wrote to them months ago and said I'm interested in doing a table. I hadn't heard a thing, so I'll just go ahead and do a follow up.
Okay.
But everybody, thank you very much for joining us tonight for the live edition of Happy Hour from the Tower.
.com.
.com.
Ding.
There you go. We are going to work on getting the show back on schedule on a regular 2-week schedule. It's been a little difficult with the book and everything, but we do appreciate everybody's support and all of you being here. Again, I'm T. That's Nick. That's Brandon over there.
Grab your
And-
awesome Destiny gear at HangryGamerGear.com. Use Happy Hour as your code for 15% off at checkout. You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. That was very well.
It's easy to remember when I'm looking at your shirt,
and yeah,
right, and my
Brandon.
coffee mug and my hat.
It's all there. It's all there. So anyway, everybody, thank you everyone on behalf of the Fire Team. Happy Hour from the Tower is protected. A non-commercial, no derivative, share like United States 2.0 license. You can find out more about that license at creativecommons.org. Thanks everybody for listening. Eyes up, Guardian. Time to give up the ghost. The first round.
That's on us.